Okay, so I was on Tumblr and I got this message from a person, and they were talking about being bullied, well, harassed at their school, and how the teachers and counselors don't really do much about it, and that they've reported people. So I decided that I wanted to make a video, seeing as I haven't made one in a while, and I want to talk about what you can do to stop what's happening if you're being harassed or bullied, and how you can get your school to do something. I go to a school where people are harassed all the time, especially if you're different. If you don't fit in, you're harassed a good amount of the time that you're there. I have had problems with being harassed since 9th grade. I'm only in 10th, but I mean, yeah. In 9th grade, a girl made a homophobic comment, and when I confronted her and asked her to say something different, she just said something even more cruel, so I reported her. Before then, I never really reported anybody, and I don't know why, but that was the one and only time that I reported a person for harassing me until this month, March 2011. The reason why is because after I reported her and my AP called me down to her office, she told me that it was my fault that I got harassed because I was openly gay. Well, back then it was more of bisexual. I was still figuring myself out, but basically her way of putting it was that if you are openly gay or bisexual, lesbian, whatever you want to call it, that you are setting yourself up for being harassed, and it's your fault that you're getting harassed. And she lectured me for a good 20 minutes about how I should be in the closet because this wouldn't be happening. And so after that, I just didn't even bother to report anybody because I felt like it was my fault. I actually believed what she said, and I believed that it was my fault that I was getting harassed because I was open about who I was. And I also believed that because I was gay, bisexual, whatever, that if they were to do something about me being harassed, I'd be getting special treatment because I was different. I really don't know why I felt that way, but I did, and it stopped me from reporting a lot of things that I should have reported. This year, I'm in 10th grade, and I spent the year listening to a bunch of comments from people, and they all related, most of them, 90% of them, to my sexuality. And finally, it got to a point where I couldn't take it anymore, and earlier this month, a guy called me a faggot multiple times and just kept saying it and laughing with his friend. So I reported him, and the woman that I talked to was extremely nice, and she wrote him a referral, and he got in, I guess, a lot of trouble. I really don't know because I wasn't there, but she told me how bullying needs to be taken seriously, and she called my mom and my mom was cussing on the phone because of all the stuff that I've had to go through and the fact that I still have to deal with it. And the next day, no, it was the day after, like, day after the next day. 2 days later, yeah, we'll go with that. The guy had gotten his referral for harassment and bullying, and he told his friend, and we were sitting in fourth period, and I always sit with two of my friends, Beasley and Will, and the guy was sitting with his friend at a table with a girl and two other guys, and all of a sudden, from that table, one of them says faggot really loud and starts laughing. And I just stared at them, and I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes. I felt really stupid, but nobody should be called a faggot. I really don't care what the circumstance is, why you're doing it. It's just not a great word to be called. And after that class period ended, I was walking down the stairs to go to lunch, and I have lunch with both of those guys. And one of them turned around and he said to the guy that, hey, it's your girl, talking about me. And so I kind of snapped and I just said, can you shut the fuck up? Because it was getting so old. And then the guy, this would be easier if I mentioned names, but I'm not going to. He screamed and he was like, I'm not talking to you. And I casually said, I'm not talking to you, I was talking to your friend. And his friend turned to me and just said, make me shut up. And I just looked away and kept walking. And then the other guy apparently said for me to shut up, and his friend said that I told him to make me shut up, even though I didn't say anything. And so I spent the next 2 class periods trying not to cry because I hate crying in public, and I was shaking. And then after 6th period, I went to the office and I waited in there for like 15 minutes before they actually sent me anywhere, and I got sent to the counselors, and I really don't like how the counselor handles things, but I had to deal with it. And it was another 20-25 minutes before anybody talked to me there. And basically, all my counselor said was that I need to suck it up and come up with smart things to say back to them, because it's not going to stop. And I ended up running into the woman that I talked to the first time about the guy, and I told her everything that had happened, and I told her about the story, and she said that I needed to talk to my AP. I know this has been a really long, drawn-out story. Not as long as, yeah, but I just want you guys to know that no matter what the reason is, if you feel uncomfortable in a situation, and if you feel that someone is offending you, or they're harassing you or bullying you, you need to stick up for yourself. I'm not saying pick a fight, punch them in the face. If you have to, say something back to them, tell them to shut up, anything, but you need to report them. And this needs to stop. There are teenagers, there are adults, children everywhere dying every day because they're getting bullied and nothing's happening about it. Nothing is being done. And It has to stop. I don't like seeing people getting bullied, and I'll report someone for bullying someone that I don't even know. I really don't care. I don't think that anyone deserves to be treated like that. And if you go to a school where teachers and counselors don't do anything, tell your parents, have them call, and keep calling and calling and calling until your school does something. Stand up for yourself and be brave, be strong, do everything you can to get the help that you need and put a stop to the harassment that you're getting, because you have that right and you shouldn't have to deal with people putting you down. I love you guys. Good luck.